There are so many different signs for Thanksgiving. There's just a ton. But the real question is, where did Thanksgiving come from in the first place? Different countries have it, and Canada even has a Thanksgiving. Theirs, they celebrate the third Thursday, but we're always the last. It's a day to give thanks for everything. You thank God, and you thank Him for your family, for your job, for all the good things. But back in the day, it was all about giving thanks for a good harvest. And we don't practice that right now anymore. So it was first set up in 1621. Canada's... Give me a second. Let's backtrack this. Canada set up their own a little bit before that. But America started in 1621. There's lots of different stories about the first Thanksgiving. Some people say that it started in a Spanish town, but there's one over in but the real story happens over in Plymouth, Virginia. And that was 1609. The Pilgrims, when they came over. And after that, everyone kind of followed suit. But it didn't become official until 1621. So they'd go ahead and they'd celebrate the harvest and party it up. So the oldest story is all about the one in Plymouth with the Indians. So in 1620, there were some Englishmen coming over. They were escaping from all sorts of different things over in Europe, so they came over on a boat. And they were all, they couldn't grow anything. They were cold and they were hungry and weak. And the Native Americans happened upon them to say hello. The settlers didn't know what to think, but the Indians, they were more curious, so they brought in a man named Squanto, who was one of the members of their tribe, and they started communications. Because Squanto could actually speak English, there had been other people that had come over on boats and left, and he had learned the language from them, so he interpreted for them. And that first year, the Native Americans helped out the Pilgrims. The following year, in 1621, they came once again celebrated a good harvest. In that time, they had taught the settlers how to hunt and grow different plants. So that following year, they all celebrated again. They celebrated in the exact same place. That particular year, there wasn't any corn because there had been an early frost. But the Native Americans had had other options, and most of their food they cooked and brought on over. So that was the first Thanksgiving. Later on, George Washington tried to set it up as a holiday. And Madison, the next different President Madison, once again, let me backtrack that. I didn't get that. Okay, so that second year there wasn't anything, and they had a fasting, but they still gave thanks for everything they did have. They used to do it twice a year back in that time. Later, when George Washington was president, and the president after him, Madison, they finally decided to set it up as an official holiday. So in 1826. So they tried to figure out, they were really having a hard time figuring out when to set it up. And it didn't become official as to when to celebrate until Abraham Lincoln was president, and he told them that it should be the last Thursday of the month of November. Because it's when the last harvest comes in, and that way everyone has a chance to get in their last harvest before giving thanks for everything that they do have. Lots of people today make their turkey and their stuffing, their mashed potatoes. I don't know if back during the first Thanksgiving they actually had turkey, but today it's become traditional to serve the Thanksgiving turkey. And every year they have the Macy's Days Parade, which is 2.5 miles of parade. Goes on for forever. I didn't get that at all either. We're cooking. Make mashed potatoes. I don't know if they had a turkey back in the day. This parade, Macy's Day Parade. 2.5 miles long. And it's broadcast on the TV. My family personally doesn't watch it. It's also become tradition that every year in certain farms they will leave 1 or 2 turkeys free and they don't kill them. So they get off on that. But every year it's a big celebration to give thanks, to celebrate the harvest. And it happened all the way back in Europe. They'd celebrate the harvest. And they brought that tradition over here to America. Now we don't so much celebrate the harvest as just celebrate having a day off where we can sit around, eat, and when we're all done with that, we sit around and watch some football.